Welcome back to All Songs Considered.
Hi, I'm Jana Pokop, and my friend Alexander Doust and I love new music, and also good cocktails. Welcome to Mixomusicology, a nerdy show about both. It'll work like this. Every episode, we'll break down a set of recently released songs, or a full album if a big one just dropped, and talk about what works for us, what doesn't, and the broader landscape that music sits in, both in terms of pop culture and in terms of how the song was made. Each week, we'll also make a themed cocktail that, if you're following along on our Substacks, you can make with us. Listen along every week with our companion playlist available down below in the show notes. This week, we're covering Robber, Arlo Parks, and Naomi Scott.
I find it fascinating when a song, through writing and production, can evoke senses other than just hearing. Sight's the most obvious. Descriptive lyrics can be transportive, employed often to convey a sense of place or a metaphor to support the message of the song. I think artists like Big Thief and Waxahachie, to name a few recent favorites, employ this particularly well lyrically. In Waxahachie's Fire, for example, singer Katie Crutchfield writes about how unstoppable she would be if her love for herself was unconditional, using lines early in the song like, "It's not as if we cry a river, call it rain. West Memphis is on fire in the light of day," that put us in a specific place and time and serve as a way to measure the gravity of her emotions and actions against the setting of the song. Even more interesting to me is when you can evoke a different sense than sight alone from a song. Flock of Dime's Jen Wassner put out an album last year called The Life You Save that feels humid as you're listening to it. And what I mean by that is that the production is so close and heavy and drenched that it feels like you're sitting in a sunset somewhere in the swamps of the mid-Atlantic. A few of the songs appear to have almost no applied reverb, so they're just so dry and close, nothing but vocals, guitar, and room noise. When synths come in, they are warm and atmospheric in a way that feels heavy and almost claustrophobic. She's singing about difficult, conflicting emotions and codependence in a lot of the songs, so all of this serves to support the message of the album. The songs this week ask you to use senses other than sight and hearing really well. There are lyrics that convey a setting and production elements, bright staccato guitar plucks, sustained and distorted ones, hazy synths, washed out telephone vocals that feel incredibly immersive. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Right now it's night, it's a Tuesday, and Astoria, New York is windy and mostly quiet. An hour ago, a sung prayer that happens every day filtered out of the Islamic center near my house, and I listened to that while prepping for tonight's episode. Hi, Jana.
Hi, Alex.
What's your favorite place?
I love that question. Tonight I'm gonna put myself in my place. It's here in New Mexico, where if it's a calm night, I can see the Sandia Mountains, and they're crystal clear. And the mountains, since they're named the Sandias, which is watermelon in Spanish, they're pink at sunset, and you can smell some sage and some dust, but not in a bad way. The desert, the smell that sinks into your pores after a long day, and it's the skin cracking kind of dry, but I've learned to love it out here.
If you have not been to New Mexico or Arizona or somewhere in the Southwest, you may not know how good the desert smells. But truly, like that dry dustiness, especially because I'm more familiar with it in Phoenix, kind of matched against the smell of creosote, which is a bush that puts out a bunch of essential oils after it rains. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I found that shocking because when I moved more east, like Texas and Austin, which is very green and verdant, and I was so excited to live somewhere green, and I got kind of snotty about it. But then after a while, I realized while it was raining and then after a rain there, it didn't smell like anything, which kind of weirded me out. There's some sort of wetness there, of course, but like the desert rain smell is insane. And you can buy fragrances with it and candles. There's a reason people try to capture it, you know?
And they can't. They can't capture it in a candle. I'm still looking.
We buy them up and we get disappointed and we burn them anyway, but, you know.
How was this week for you? What's new?
Tumultuous, and it's ended good. I will sum it up by, I texted Alex this morning. I was buying supplies at Total Wine for the podcast, and I looked down in the parking lot and I found a quarter. And in today's economy, finding a quarter on the ground is like you're rich now. And
it's not nothing.
It's not nothing, and I'm feeling pretty good. I found a place to live, I think. Fingers crossed. I did send some money to a place that I think is a deposit. I'm hedging here because can anything be solid anymore? I don't know. But I think it's a place that I'm really going to like, and I think I'm going to live there. So that's good news from Jana land. How about you?
I'm doing okay. You know, to get it out of the way, today's political happenings were really shaky.
What a Tuesday.
And this is not a political podcast, but everything's political. So I spent the day in like a low grade panic.
Yeah, same.
For the people of Iran.
And the ripple effects from Iran on all the way out. Yeah, insane.
It's all bad. It's really funny to me, not funny, very serious, that like the founding fathers, when they thought up impeachment, assumed that when impeachment would happen, somebody would just resign in disgrace because they were like, they'd be like, oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, surely I am not fit to run this country. I will go hide myself in exile for the rest of my life.
Right.
They never bothered to ask what happens if that person does not care
just doesn't
all, and also is trying not to be jailed.
And I also always learned that the whole checks and balances would just kind of operate, and the checks would check and the balances would balance, and nothing's checking or balancing anymore. So I'm not quite sure where we go.
Well, I mean, again, not a political podcast, but one of the things that I studied in communications law was how often other countries make major changes to their constitutions. And there's, of course, there's a huge belief in America that the Constitution is unchangeable, which of course is not true. And the amendments prove that. But even more broadly than that, like the average amount of time, and I'm going to fact check myself after, and I will put this in if I'm wrong. But if I'm remembering correctly, the average amount of time for a country to make major changes to its constitution to help it, either to help it better support its current populace, or because there has been some sort of political regime change, is 20 years. Editing Alex here. I double-checked this, and I was mostly correct. Per the University of Chicago, it's every 17 to 19 years. If you're adjusting for stabilized countries in North America and Europe, it jumps to 43. That's still significantly shorter than the length of our Constitution.
Wow.
17 to 19
years for major changes to a Constitution. Thank you, Microsoft Sam.
230 overdue or some such
Yeah,
thing.
and it's not to say we haven't edited and amended
That's
it,
true.
right?
We've done some things. I can
But
vote now.
Holy shit. Yes, yeah.
I will say on the positive spin side of the week, and I texted you earlier, apologies for how much I might mention space this week. I've been mainlining Artemis 2 content. Just incredible work by NASA. The photos, the moon, she's glorious.
She is.
Just go to NASA's site. It's the photography alone. It's incredible. And I will say the funniest thing, there's so many just lighthearted moments from these wonderfully smart people up there in space right now. But the SD card management that they're doing up there is just lovely. Like mission control, they're like, don't forget to label your SD cards, and like the swapping out of like, it's all file management for media, which as a creative is making me feel really like validated.
I think getting older is just realizing that most of your life is file management.
100%. I'm moving Dropbox folders all the time, and it's driving me crazy.
I'm moving Dropbox folders you haven't even heard of. Jenna, would you like a drink?
I need a drink.
Wonderful. We're going to make a drink this week that I'm calling a Shunning Away, based off of the Naomi Scott song that we're reviewing that's part of the chorus. I wanted this drink to be sort of summery and sexy, but still a little mysterious, like the song for which this cocktail was named. So, Jana, this is an equal parts cocktail. Do you know what that is?
It means, I'm going to guess here, there are equal parts of each ingredient.
Hell yeah. So they are most commonly modeled after the Negroni, which is 1:1:1 gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. In terms of flavors, that is herbaceous, sweet, and bitter. This equal parts cocktail is not based on a Negroni. It's a little bit different. So it keeps the gin, but it swaps the sweet vermouth for elderflower liqueur, which gives it kind of a floral, citrusy note. And then it changes out the Campari, which, if you've had Campari by itself, it is like incredibly bitter, very, very herby. It switches that out for aquavit, which is flavored primarily with caraway and dill, and is much less tannic, much less bitter than a Campari would be. It's more dry and kind of spicy.
Did you say dill?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can do them with either or both. But yeah, the EU actually has a law that it has to be primarily flavored with one or both for it to be considered an aquavit.
Huh.
Yeah.
Doesn't that translate water of life?
I believe it does. Yeah, it's like a U to V.
Well, I believe them when they say it is so. Water of life.
Yeah. It's been around since the 1500s, and I feel like the Scandinavians are doing mostly fine, so they know more than we do. While you do that, I'm going to read a brief summary of the ingredients for the people playing along at home.
Love.
So, to recap that cocktail, it is 1 ounce of dry gin, 1 ounce of elderflower liqueur, 1 ounce of aquavit, 2 dashes of bitters. Jenna's using rhubarb. I'm using orange bitters because I have them. Top with soda water, and then if you like, garnish with an orange peel.
Wait, let's get a sound effect.
Hell yes.
Don't
She's a
explode.
live one.
She's going hard. Okay.
She's a party girl.
Yeah.
Can I brag for a sec before you taste it?
Yes, you may.
A few months back, I told you I was making my own aquavit, and that's what's in this. So I have an aquavit that is primarily caraway to make sure that it is an aquavit, like I said, so the EU will not send me a fine. But it also has toasted fig leaf in it, which really comes through in my drink. Fig leaves are edible. You can taste them if you kind of put them in the oven for a little bit. They taste like young coconut. They're like a little green.
You never fail to impress and astound me.
I feel like Ina Garten.
Cheers.
Clink.
I'm feeling springtime, summer coming on.
Do you feel like this just tastes like chamomile tea, but fizzy?
I get that now that you mention it, yes.
There's definitely a chamomile note in here. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it's springy, but it's a little bit dry, a little spicy.
Yep.
Not in a hot kind of way, in a dried spices kind of way.
Right.
I quite like it. It's a little mysterious, I think.
I still want to sit in a dark, cozy bar, but not in the winter way. I don't know how to explain that.
I want to sit at a bistro table just outside a dark, cozy bar.
Yes.
Smoking with, I don't know, a hand-rolled cigarette. I don't smoke. But if I were.
But if I did. Tasty.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
I think now it's time to listen to music.
This week we are listening to Robber, Arlo Parks, and Naomi Scott. We're going to start with Robber's New Year's Eve, which is one of these singles off of their new album, Two Wheels Move the Soul.
Okay, this like teeters right up to my edge of distorted, loud, buried indie vocals that I don't quite like musically, but the lyrics grabbed me and won me over. So I'll start there.
There's human feats of genius, then there's what I did today.
Yes.
It's my favorite line of this year so far, I think. There's also blood computer grind my dust into a paste, which is just so good.
I copied and all that from the grind me down blood computer mix my dust into a paste all the
Yeah.
way to the ice pick quick sharp and appealing in a way. I was like, ooh,
Yes.
I feel all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I so, I knew that this song might be a little bit harder than the stuff you normally listen to. This is softer than most of the stuff I listen to. I love that we come from very different musical backgrounds. But this song talks so much about apathy and also its own fear of apathy in such an interesting way
Right.
and so smartly. And it's a little abstract, but I don't know, I just love how it sounds. I think it really toes the line of not leaning too hard into the distortion, but having everything feel a little bit off.
Totally. And it was an enjoyable listen for me. Is it my normal wheelhouse? No, but once it got me in, like I was in. And then I did a little bit of reading about Robert making this record, and much like Indigo D'Souza last week, who made a record after surviving losing all of her stuff in Hurricane Helene, Robert, two of the members, like their whole building caught on fire and their apartment was spared, but they still had to move out. Like it's people making art amongst tragedy, and it every time it just gets me that they not only soldiered on, so to speak, but thrived with through the art, and it still must have been horrific, but what a record to make.
Yeah, for sure. The rest of the album, if you haven't heard it, yeah, you can kind of guess at from this. There are some rock elements. There's some like post-funk elements a little bit, and how the bass lines are constructed. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and like if you like this song, it's still worth looking into the rest of the album too. Have you seen the music video for it?
No.
Worth a watch. Very Magdalena Bay coded.
Oh, awesome.
Should we move on to the next song?
I think we should.
The next song is Senses by Arlo Parks featuring Sampha. Dope. Dope, dope, dope.
So good.
It's so silky.
That's a good word for it. Oh, it's just smooth the whole way through.
Yeah. The hook that is, I can't find no love for myself. The rhythm of it is so well crafted. It's gonna be stuck in my head for days.
And the line itself hurts just perfectly.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
If I still had a car, and I don't because I'm a New York elitist, this would be like a late night driving playlist ad for me, for sure.
I will say, and you introduced me to the whole album, but the whole record is just a late night drive, just neon lights in a dark car. It's perfect.
It is really, really good. I struggled to pick a song from this album because I also really love Two-Sided and Night Swimming. Both of those are very good.
I was going to ask you how you chose because there's just so many bangers on this record.
I really like Sampha's part in this, and I think specifically like the time mark for this is 3:23, but it's where there's a sudden chord change and it opens up a little bit and it breaks the groove that's been happening for 3 minutes and 30 seconds until that point.
Trick of the mind hardens your feelings.
Yeah.
And I love that moment, especially in the context of the full record.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I made a note, and I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm calling it the outro verse where Sampha kind of replies to Arlo, like it's like the real piano comes in, and I think it's like a real bass. We go from synthy stuff to maybe real instruments. It just breaks away from the song a little bit. It's interesting.
I'm going to listen again really quick. Give me a moment.
Yeah.
In the direction of pain. Ooh, the flames.
I think there is a real bass lower in volume throughout the entire song, but they definitely kick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And they remove the synth bass layer that's happening, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah, they bring it out. And then the last line, the clarity lies in the direction of pain.
Pretty good. Pretty smooth.
So good. You're a big Arlo Parks fan, right? This was a record you were looking forward to.
I'm aware of Arlo Parks. I was
Okay.
looking forward to this record as an excuse to know more about Arlo Parks.
Got it.
She sits in an indie space that I really appreciate, and she sits among a bunch of artists I really like, but is not someone that I have followed that closely. So, like, this album was such a delight to get into and so smooth.
Yeah.
And she also mentions Frank Ocean, if you listen to any of his stuff, as an inspiration.
Totally.
And I can definitely hear that.
I agree. I was in a band in Austin called the Home Slippers, and my fellow Home Slippers were big Frank Ocean fans, Katie especially, and we covered some Frank.
There's two kinds of people in this world, Frank Ocean lovers and liars.
There you go.
Yeah, I just thought that this song was it's simple, right?
Yeah.
But I think the songwriting is so in the pocket that it doesn't need to be anything more than it is.
Yep. And my favorite part was the drop in the chorus. Like everything goes away for the chorus, and it's so satisfying. You feel it in your chest, and it comes back
I love
in.
when that happens. I think that people sometimes overcomplicate. And when I say people, I mean me. Sometimes overcomplicate the elements in a chorus.
Me too.
And it's sometimes so much cooler to just strip everything.
Yeah, I always forget that you don't have to always build into a chorus. You can take away.
Well, I'm such a maximalist that I'm like, no, I want the big sparkly, I want 60 synth tracks playing at the same time, and I want it to be as like discordant as possible. Arlo Parks is not writing from that perspective and not producing from that perspective, and I love that. There's something for me to learn there.
It's true. All right, next song.
Naomi Scott's Gracie. I'm very excited.
She's like an omen, knows your hand before you fold it. No need to show her, cuts before the act is over. It's over. She leaves the morning, cuss you out with the windows open. So well spoken, everything she does, she owns it. She got nothing to
perfect fade out song.
Last track on this record. It's so
Feels
good.
like it could go on forever.
Yeah. Naomi Scott, where'd you come from? Where have you been? Stay forever.
Naomi Scott she's been around, you know? She had an early career hit in 2009 where she charted for a song that she made while in a role on a Disney Channel movie.
Love.
Called Lemonade Mouth. She was in 2019's Aladdin, if you saw that, and then in 2024's Smile 2, where she played a pop star being haunted by a horrifying disease monster. I didn't see the film, but terrifying looking.
No, I have not seen it because I cannot do horror, and the poster alone haunted me for weeks. I can't. Oh man, what a jam. Okay, I am all up in my 80s dreams. It's got Janet. It's got some Michael in it. The bass line, it's so good.
It's got some Michael in it for sure. She also credits a gospel duo, Mary Mary. And specifically an album they put out in 2002.
Fantastic.
As like a main source of inspiration for this album for her.
Wow.
You can hear that a lot too. Yeah. But it's so funky. And it's so a lot of times I think when people do this style, and I'm thinking of artists like Bruno Mars, they tend to modernize it so that it sounds like 2010s pop, right?
Right.
This feels so adherent to me to the original style.
It really is. I was listening to her whole project, and there's more 80s in it. And I've been on weekends, my bestie Jamie and I go vinyl shopping, and I've been collecting like the one-hit wonders of the 80s. Like I got some Don Henley recently.
Hell yes.
And the last one I got Thompson Twins, and I got, what band is it that does Kyrie Lazing down the road that I must travel? Like I'm getting all that stuff.
Oh man, who is that?
Yeah, I have the vinyl in the other room.
Sorry, it's gonna kill me. It's Mr. Mister.
Mr. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's and it's not directly on this record, but you can tell that Naomi Scott has listened to this and like internalized it, and she like you just said, she's adhering to this influence, and I loved it. I love this whole project she did. It's so good.
She's like a real student of it.
Yes.
And then I think she's bringing in a Norwegian producer for this.
Ooh.
His stage name is Lido, Lido.
Oh yeah.
He did a bunch of this production, and it feels like, I mean, he knew his references for sure, but he also added in so many small elements of ear candy in this song.
Yeah.
Like there's around the 40-second mark, there's this little far back guitar picking thing that happens like really wide and very quiet, and it just adds a little bit, and I love that.
The guitars are so good on this record and this track too. It made me, it's comforting 80s to me.
His other credits are Halsey, Ariana Grande, A$AP Ferg, and if it's the most recent A$AP Ferg record, I think I see his work. And then also Banks, if you know Banks. Like
Banks
Begging
is
for Threads,
great.
her. Yeah.
I heard some Ariana influence in this too, in a good way. I love Ariana.
Bit. Like the Dangerous Woman era of Ariana.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
I'm a Naomi Scott fan now. This is an incredible record.
This is a real, I think, change up for her too from some of the other stuff that she's been doing musically. But this is such a cool direction. And also, again, excellent music video. This is normally when I find a New Music Friday song, it is from like a playlist on a distributor, right? Or a streaming platform. But for this one, I found it on Threads of all places. And it was just a clip of her dancing through like the London downtown.
Cool.
And I sent it to you immediately and was like, I'm obsessed. Who is this? Do you know Minnesota artist Yor Smith?
No.
She has a song called Wild Wild Woman that I think is the closest modern thing I can find to this. I'm going to send it to you and force you to listen to it right now really quick.
Excellent.
So we can talk about it.
Yes,
and then I'll play a quick clip in the podcast too.
Cool.
I hear a voice calling me back. I tried to leave her hiding hiding, all strung up. I tried to keep her quiet, but she's screaming inside of me. I tried to keep her hiding, all shut up. I tried to keep her quiet, but she's a wild, wild woman. Ooh, she's a wild, wild woman.
Rad. Okay.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
I'm not going crazy. There's a comparison there.
No, there is. That bass line's really cool.
Yes. Excellent song. Again, all of her stuff is great too. What a fun set of songs this week.
Yeah. And all, again, foreign to me until this week. Thank you.
I know. I'm going to force you to pick all 3 songs next week.
Pressure's on. I'm into it. I love a challenge. Now that I will say it's interesting to co-host a podcast because you have a buddy that, you know, we're 3 weeks in, Alex, and this has been one of my favorite things in the last, we've only done 3 weeks, but I'm like, how have we not done this for 3 years? I don't know. But it's nice to have a pal because when we have a crazy week, Alex picked all the songs. and maybe you'll have a crazy week and you'll be like, Jana, pick all the songs. Anyway, but I love it when you pick songs.
I love a show and tell where it's like, no, these are like the things that I loved. Please let me share them with you.
Exactly.
And
It's
I love
a delight.
receiving that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we missed it last week, but we should go back and review everything.
We had such a good time, we forgot to rate everything, I guess.
Yeah. I said in the first episode that every week we were going to give everything incredibly trivial reviews based on almost nothing, and that we'd have to come up with them on the fly. So, Jana, what would you give the drink out of anything you pick?
The drink is delicious. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 caraway seeds.
I'll take Robber.
Okay, yeah, you rate Robber.
Okay. I'm going to give Robber's New Year's Eve 4 out of 5 blood computers.
Oh, beautiful.
What is a blood computer?
I think it's a brain.
Makes much more sense.
Okay. Arlo Parks. I think the name Arlo Parks sounds like a rating scale. And I loved, number one, the song. And I think you all should just put on the new Arlo Parks record. So I'm going to give it 1 million out of 1 million Arlo Parks.
I like that Arlo Parks does sound like proper noun verb.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I agree. I love that one. And yeah, like the full album is such a like dancing around the house with nobody watching you sort of album.
Yeah. It's just there, and listen for the bass, guys. I don't know
it's so good.
If you pay attention to anything, just listen to the bass lines and the tones. Oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah. Really strong. Okay. Naomi Scott's Gracie. I'm going to give... There's so much pressure in this, Jana.
Oh man.
5 out of 5 dancing through London with people who are not extras looking at you like you're insane.
Perfect. That is exactly what rating that should get. And I know we've been back and forth on the ratings, but I loved this song and Naomi Scott so much. And also I'm going to circle it back around because there is a line in the song, easy does it, she's the sun and you're the comet, and to circle it back around to space and Artemis too. I'm going to give the whole record 5 out of 5 rainbow moons because we've been looking at a rainbow moon for the last 2 days.
That's incredible.
Go listen to Naomi Scott.
You're such a space girly.
I've been nerding out. It's such a joy to know that we're peons down here and there's other things up there, and it's great.
Can I tell you something that I am nerding out about, and we'll end on that? Do you know what the fish doorbell is?
No, tell us.
Okay. So, in Utrecht.
Yes.
In Utrecht, There is a sluice gate that is ingress egress, and it is a channel that is a migratory route for certain species of fish, and it was having a really, really bad impact on their populations because the gate was mostly closed, right? So during their breeding time, they wouldn't be able to swim up the river and get to their breeding grounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scientists in the city of Utrecht got together and created an online fish doorbell so that anybody anywhere in the world can watch the camera, and when they see fish come up to the camera, you can push a button and open the sluice gate so that the fish can go through and have their babies.
You can open the door for the fish?
Yes. It was deployed for the first time in 2021. It's been going annually since. It opened this year in early March, and I am just obsessed with it. It's so amazing.
Fish doorbells and the dark side of the moon and humanity seeing it is why we are not totally screwed. This is why.
The good things that humans are doing,
Yep.
in spite of bad things, or
Curiosity.
alongside even.
Yep.
Yeah.
Discovery, curiosity, and good music and drinks with friends. That's what we do.
That's all there is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jana, thank you so much.
Thanks for another good one, Alex. We'll do it again next week.
I can't wait.